Is the Sony a6400 the best camera for YouTube? It's packed full of features. Let's talk about it together. And that video is coming up next. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back, guys. It's good to see you again. If you're new to the channel, my name is Brian the Camera Guy, and I review camera accessories along with Sony camera gear. If that's something that you're into and you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that subscribe button. Today, I'm going to talk about the Sony a6400. I've been using this camera now for 6 months, and I want to give you my thoughts on whether this is truly the best camera for the YouTube content creator. And during that 6-month time period, I've gone everywhere from the beach to YouTube studios like this one. I'm going to give you my total thoughts and impression with this camera. Hopefully I can help you out with making a decision whether this is the right camera for you. So like I said, I've been using this camera now for 6 months, and one of the features that I absolutely love is the flip up screen. The camera's got this great flip up screen so you can see yourself while you're videotaping. So this way you know that you're in the shot, you got everything framed off just right. So if you're making a YouTube video in a studio just like this, you can totally tell what you are filming. The other thing that's nice about this flip up screen is you can also use it while you're vlogging. So you can extend your arm out and you can see exactly what you're videotaping. So this way you know that you're always in shot. Without the flip up screen, you don't have a wide enough lens. You could be guessing on what you are actually filming. With this, the beauty is you get to see yourself right in the flip up screen. The second feature that I absolutely love are the picture profiles. This camera comes with the standard picture profiles that you can find in their higher end full frame cameras, like the Sony a7 III, the Sony a7R IV, and even the Sony a9. Picture profiles that this camera includes are the HLG 1, 2, and 3. We're currently shooting an HLG 2 right now, Rec 709. You can also film in S-Log 2 and 3. And if you're somebody who just doesn't want a color grade, there's always the standard picture profile, which I think has very flattering skin tones. The biggest thing though, is you wanna make sure your white balance is correct. So one of the downsides with the picture profiles on this is I'm not really 100% sold on the auto white balance. Do me a favor, comment down below if you wanna see a video on how I white balance my videos. It's a cheap $7.50 fix, and I'd love to tell you guys about it in a future video. The next feature that I absolutely love is it's a lightweight mirrorless ASPC body. So that means that it's really light and compact. It's not a giant, huge full frame camera. You can easily, discreetly walk around with this. Not as easy as your cell phone, but still very easy to go ahead and tuck away, which is very important, especially if you're gonna do that vlogging. So maybe you're here watching this video because you're considering upgrading from a smartphone. So your iPhone or even a Samsung Galaxy Note can be a great starter camera. But let's say you're looking to take this a little bit more seriously. You're looking to become a little bit more professional. That's where this camera can shine. You can upgrade to this camera and you get the full benefits of a mirrorless camera in a small compact body. So you don't have to go out and spend $4,000, $5,000 to get that full frame look. You can get it with this camera. Because let's face it, those smartphone cameras are nice, but their sensors are small. So in low light, you're not gonna get that great look. On this camera, you do have a much bigger sensor. You got an ASPC size sensor. It does have a 1.5 inch crop. So any lenses that you get for this, you're gonna have to multiply by 1.5 times. So right now I am shooting on the Sigma 16mm f1.4, and this lens is exceptional. I really like this lens. So that 16mm does translate to a 24mm full frame equivalent. So when you're out there, you do have to hold it out quite a ways to do some vlogging. Unfortunately, this lens is not stabilized, but it is really great for these indoor studio videos. And the 4K on this Sony a6400 is really good. I have no complaints. I think it records very well. I would recommend if you're gonna use the 4K footage that you definitely do proxies when you are doing your video editing. It's gonna definitely speed it up. If you want me to do a video on how I create proxies, go ahead and comment down below with that. As I previously mentioned, this camera is not gonna break the bank either. The Sony a6400 with the standard kit lens is gonna run you just under $1,000, which is exceptional value for a camera that gives you such a great look. That price is cheaper than most smartphones right now. I know the new iPhone 11 is gonna run you near $1,500 if you wanna get the Pro Max version. So this camera is definitely gonna be a little bit cheaper. If you are looking to spend up to $1,500, you can always pair it with this Sigma 16mm f1.4, which I highly recommend. Does exceptional in low light due to that wide open aperture. So you're gonna get that nice crisp image, even in the darkest of areas. So let's be honest, there's no perfect camera out there. And this camera does have some cons as well. Unfortunately, it does not have any IBIS in it. That is one thing that is lacking. So when you pair it up with the 16mm f1.4, while it's great in low light, if you're out there vlogging or running and gunning, it's gonna be, let's say, shaky. I wish this camera did have IBIS. Now you can always go with the Sony a6400, which I'll put a link to all these products down in the description below. But if you're gonna go with the a6400, you have to ask yourself, is the $500 more to pick up that IBIS worth it? I mean, there's a couple other features with it. At the end of the day, it's the same sensor. It's essentially the same camera, but it's got the IBIS. And now let's be completely honest, the Sony IBIS system has not been the greatest. It does eliminate some of those micro jitters, but definitely the lens stabilization is more important. And the standard 16mm to 50mm kit lens does offer you that stabilization. So if you are looking to vlog with this camera, you could always do it with that standard kit lens. And that's what I would recommend doing. I wouldn't recommend vlogging with the 16mm unless you have a gimbal or something of that nature, but then you're throwing in extra cost. So my recommendation would be is stick with the standard kit lens. It does great. The other con that you gotta ask yourself is Sony really committed to the ASPC lineup? Now they just, like I said, came out with the 6600 and the 6100, but at the end of the day, they have the same sensor in them. And they did release that 16mm to 55mm f2.8. The downside with that is there's no lens stabilization. So you're relying on that IBIS, which, like we just talked about, is not the greatest IBIS in the world. Not Panasonic, it's not GH5 stabilized. Looking at a lot of the reviews, it does come up a little shaky with that new lens. But once again, is that $500 price tag worth it? I don't know. That's a decision that you have to make. Personally, I think the Sony a6400 is a very capable camera. Again, how committed is Sony to the ASPC lineup? I mean, a lot of their focus has been on full frame cameras. They focused on the a7 III, which that was the surprise hit of 2018, 2019. And they just released the Sony a7R4, which has a couple upgrade features from the 3 version. And then of course you got the Sony a9 II that's now gonna be coming out. So how committed are they to really investing in the ASPC lineup? Now the good news is that with this camera system, you can totally go with full frame lenses. Just remember you'll have that 1.5 times crop on it, but you can go with a full frame glass, and then as you build up, you can upgrade to the full frame body. You don't have to go ahead and drop $2,000 to $5,000 on a full frame body right off the bat. It's not the body that makes the image, it's the lens half the time. So my recommendation would be go with the Sony a6400, get better glass, and then when you're ready, upgrade. Final con is this is pretty much your entry-level consumer camera. So if you're looking to get into a system, this is possibly the camera that's gonna get you into the system. Now, Canon, Nikon, and Panasonic, they all have their own setups. You got Fuji, you got Olympus. So which one are you gonna go with? It really depends on which image quality you think is the best and which one has the features that you like. There's no perfect camera out there, believe me. But this one checks off a lot of boxes for me. Does it check off a lot of boxes for you? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. And hopefully I've done a good job explaining some of the features that are really nice in this camera. And if you're interested in picking it up, there are links down in the description below. I would appreciate you using those links. They do help support my channel. And if you have any questions about the camera, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Brian the Camera Guy. I'd be more than happy to talk to you there. So bottom line, if you're looking for a camera that you're gonna be able to record yourself, do these YouTube videos, maybe do some vlogging, I think this might be the best camera for YouTube. At the price point, it just makes sense. You're not gonna break the bank with this camera, and you're gonna get great image quality. I would highly recommend it. It's packed full of a lot of features, and you can still do still photos, so you can still shoot those thumbnails with this camera. So that's my opinion, the Sony a6400. Best camera for YouTube? I say yes, but let me know what you think. Comment down below on what you think is the best camera for YouTube. If this video helped you out, I'd appreciate it if you pop that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell notification so you don't miss out on my future videos. You wanna see another video about the Sony a6400? click right here. Or check out this other video right here, picked by YouTube. Let me know what you think. Is it any good? Comment on that video and let me know. Thanks for dropping by. We'll see you in the next one.